So this Xbox One S was purchased from eBay, and in the description of the listing it mentions that the Blu-ray drive is faulty. The digital online games play fine, however it doesn't accept or doesn't read any of the DVDs or the game discs that you pop into the drive. Everything else seems to be working fine. So let's get it powered up and see what we've got. So that's the Xbox powered up. Let's pop in a game disc and see what we get. So it takes the disc okay. It kind of sounds like it's trying to read the disc, but it's not actually spinning the disc up. And then nothing at all. So normally you get the whir of the disc spinning, but I'm hearing nothing at all. Okay, so let's get the console opened up and have a look and see what's going on. Okay, so it does look like obviously there's an issue with the Blu-ray drive inside. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it apart and replace the DVD drive. Now, I've got a spare one. There are a few things that you need to be aware of when replacing a DVD or Blu-ray drive in an Xbox One S. And that mainly is inside the actual DVD drive, which we'll show you in a minute. There's like a daughter board that they call, and that is matched or married to the actual motherboard. So you can't just simply just get another Blu-ray drive and just pop it in and hope it will work, because the Xbox system does a check. It says, is this Blu-ray drive that's now installed, is it matched to the motherboard? And if it isn't, it then errors, and normally the error code is a system error E100, I believe. And then the Xbox won't boot any further. Well, it certainly won't boot any further after you do the next system update. You might be alright for a little while, but when you get the next system update, it will stop working. So we need to change over a little daughter board, which is actually inside the Blu-ray drive itself. So let's get this one opened up and then we'll get it swapped over. So as usual, starting at the back, this one has actually got the warranty label still on it, which is a good sign. So we'll just quickly pop the bottom of the Xbox off first of all. I find the easiest way to do it is start at the back by the warranty label, then you run down the sides and literally just give your pry tool a bit of a twist like that. And it does seem to pop off a lot easier. Then when you get to the front, same thing, just be careful of the buttons. Got the bind button there, give it a bit of a twist. And off it pops. Now we need to remove these green screws here, which actually hold the casing on to the Xbox. And they are Torx 10. So once you have the 6 green screws out, flip it over towards the rear of the console, just give it a little bit of a tug outwards that way, give it a bit of a wiggle and off it will pop. Simple as that. Now you have this RF cover as well. Just pull that up and off that comes. And there we have the Blu-ray drive, nice and dusty, but the Blu-ray drive, which we need to take out so we can replace that. So what we need to do, pop the console back over. There'll be a number of screws we need to take out. As we're only taking out the Blu-ray drive, we haven't got to take all the screws out, so we just need to take the ones that match up with the Blu-ray drive. So just take those screws out. These other ones can stay in. So hard drive, just simply move that to one side at the minute. If you're careful, you don't even have to unplug them from the motherboard, and then the DVD Blu-ray drive pops out. So the easiest thing to do, just quickly give the connectors off the motherboard a quick tug. Try not to wiggle them too much because you risk damaging the actual sockets on the motherboard. And that is your Blu-ray drive extracted. So let's just quickly pop that back over. We'll move the Xbox to one side because we don't need that for the moment. And there we go, one Blu-ray drive. Now we actually need to get inside this, and as I say, swap over the little daughter board that's in there. So by the sounds of this one, I powered the Xbox up a second ago. It's probably the motors that are damaged, you know, or worn out. It could be something inside that's not working, but let's pop the covers off and have a quick look. So first things first, just disconnect the cables, 1 and 2. Let's find this one a little bit tricky. If you do find it a bit tricky, just get a screwdriver, just carefully lever it off. It does make life a bit easier, like so. Off that pops. And there's one large screw here which we need to take out, which again is another Torx, and I believe that is a Torx 8, no, Torx 10, so same size as the screws in the casing. So quickly undo that one, that pops off, quite a large screw. And then we can take this black casing off. So where you've just taken the screw out from, just push the metal down a little bit and then slide it off that way, off the back of the Blu-ray drive. Spin it over, and there's actually 4 screws to get the casing off. 2 of them are underneath this RF gasket, so if you just pull that back a little bit, you see the 2 screws, and they are Phillips screws. So grab a Phillips screwdriver, one, 2, 3, and 4. And the casing itself will pop off, like so. Go from the corners, pull it down that way because the RF gasket's stuck on, so you go that way. Actually gives you a nice little hinge to open up on. And then we see this. So this is the daughter board that we need to take out. So we need to take this one out and then pop it back into the replacement drive. You know, what we could do is have a little bit of a look and see what's happening with the mechanics in this drive, but we'll save that for another video. For now, what we're going to do, as I say, is just disconnect these cables, pop off this daughter board, and then pop that into the replacement drive that we've got. We need to do a little bit of soldering. there's the power cables over here, which obviously power the daughter board and power the motors off of the daughter board as well. So let's do that. So I normally start off by taking these ribbon cables out. There's 3 in total, and each of them, as you can probably see, let's zoom in a little bit. Each of these connectors, they have a little black strip along the front. Now what you need to do is just gently lift up that black strip, which releases the cable. I mean, you can do it with your finger now, or a flat blade screwdriver. They are delicate, so you've got to be careful. I normally just use a finger now, pop it under, and the little black strip hinges upwards. Same with this one here, finger now, and just pop it up. Now as soon as that's up, you can literally just pull out the ribbon cables, like so. Nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, they're all disconnected. And then what we need to do is just unsolder these 2 cables and then undo this screw up here, that one there and that one there, and then the daughter board will pop off. Okay, so just move those cables out of the way from under the motor. Pop your soldering iron on there, give it a bit of heat, and just pull the cable off. Pop those to the back there. That's that done. They're actually marked on the PCB black and red, or B&R black and red, so you can't put them in around the wrong way again. Again, let's undo our screws. They're Phillips screws again. 1, 2, 3. It comes off like so, and then we can simply remove the daughter board. Now, out of everything here, that's the most important bit. We need to keep that bit. Because the actual fault lies here with the mechanics of the drive. As I say, it wasn't powering up or spinning the disc, so there's obviously something going on with the mechanics, and we can try and fix that in a later video. But for now, what we'll do, we'll get our replacement drive and pop in the daughter board, which is married with our Xbox. Okay, so we have got our replacement Blu-ray drive. This one hasn't got the daughter board in already. Obviously we're popping in our daughter board from the original Xbox. Just make sure all those black connectors are open still. And then simply just pop it in roughly where it's going for now. Just drop it in. Make sure the screw holes are lining up. Now, what I like to do first things is get the screws back in. One, 2, and 3. It's nice and solid. Then we can solder back on the power cables for the motor. The easiest way to do that is just grab a pair of pliers, because the cables are quite small. As I say, you can only get the cables on one way round. Well, you can get them on the wrong way round, but just check, obviously B goes to black. Connect that one up there. And then obviously red goes to R. Like so. Good. They're all connected back up nicely. And then we can simply pop our ribbon cables back in again, making sure that the black connector is still in the up position. Line up the ribbon cable and then just pop the black connector back down again. This one is a little bit more fiddly because it goes underneath the daughter board, so if you need to, get a pair of pliers or tweezers so you get some leverage on it. Make sure you line it up properly. Slide it into place like so, and then pop down the black connector. And both a little bit of a tug, good. And then finally, ribbon cable up here, exactly the same as the others. Get it lined up, push it in, and then push down the black connector. So make sure none of them are loose, which is good. The soldering is good over there. You can close the lid, pop the screws back in, and then get it reinstalled into the Xbox and give it a test. So let's get all of the casing back on. It simply just slides back on again, making sure the screw hole goes over the metal connector bit there. Let's pop our cables back on the back of it as well. You'll notice these cables only go on one way round as well. There's actually one of the pins which is missing on purpose, and there's actually a hole on the cable which is covered up, so you got to get those cables around the right way. Pop back in the black screw that was there. Bring our Xbox back over. Just move the hard drive out of the way because we need to get to the connectors for the Blu-ray drive. Pop on connectors back onto the motherboard. So drop the hard drive back in. This could do with a big cleanup, but we'll do that later. Spin the Xbox over, keeping your hand on the hard drive and Blu-ray, and then pop back in the screws we took out earlier. Right, that's all back in. Now we can pop the RF shield back on. Make sure that sits nice and flush. To the front here, there's a little gasket just in between the power board and the gasket itself, so just make sure it's not snagging on that. Pop our case back on. Like so. Flip it back over and then pop back in the green screws. Then finally pop back on the bottom cover. Like so. Check all our buttons are working, which they are, which is good. So let's then power it up and see if that's fixed it. So with the Xbox powered up, let's pop in a disc and see what happens. Takes in the disc. I can hear the disc spinning now, which is good. It's reading the disc by the sounds of things. And there we go. Reading the disc, perfect. So just a real quick simple video to show you how to replace the Blu-ray drive on the Xbox One S. Only a small little bit of soldering to do, and the key thing is obviously to remember, you know, if you're going to buy a replacement Blu-ray drive from eBay, it's the daughter board from the old 40 drive that you need. Is the most important part, because that's the part that's married to the actual motherboard of your Xbox. So thanks very much for watching the video, really appreciate your view. Please consider subscribing, give us a thumbs up, as always it's very much appreciated. Don't forget to enter our competition for winning a Xbox One S. I will put a link to that video in the description below. Thanks very much for watching, hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.